I hate government and those who deface its buildings. I hate artists, hate creatives, I hate bright people. I hate darkness, I hate racists, I hate white people. I hate small speakers, I hate loudspeakers. I hate great concerts, I don't like crowds neither. I hate money, I hate change, I hate hope. I hate funny, I hate strange, I hate dope. I hate charities and parodies and tragedies. I hate carrots, peas, asparagus, virtually all vegetables, circuses, all festivals, texted or over sexual motion because it's perpetual. I hate schedules, calendars, reminders, cause they just remind us that tomorrow's gonna be just as timeless. I fucking hate you. And it just don't, and it just don't, and it just don't. It don't get no better. It don't get no. It don't get no better. It just don't get no better.
All right, hi guys. I hate doing this to myself, but I'll just tell you what I'm going to talk about. Basically, me. And I'm going to be completely self-referential. You've given the title like the Independent Observatory, right? Yeah. What I thought was funny is that we've all seen presentations of people that are actually observing things, but they never talk about themselves, actually, and reasons why they observe the way they observe things, or they don't talk about like who they are and what moves them in any way. So that's why I thought, okay, let's just talk about myself, and then I hope that you kind of reflect upon it, and we can have a discussion on that afterwards. Well, me is a let's put it this way. Actually, it's not. I don't see myself as a very big person. This is everybody else. I'm down there, and I kind of try to look around and see, try to uncover what everybody else actually is and who they are. And I like to do that. I like observing. I like paying attention. At the same time, I have different focuses. Let's look at this for a while. Sit down. Generally, I always feel overwhelmed, all the time, of like the amount of information that is coming to me every single time of the day. People talking, internet, you know, like in a way, I'm a product of this time, and I just cannot overcome this feeling all the time. And this means that I always feel distracted at the same time. There's no moment that I can really sit down and think of how I want to do the next step, how I want to work on something, concentrate, become a craftsman, let's say, become a builder. It seems like there's very little time to do that. But I like to delay things. I like to be late. I don't like to be on time for anything, basically, as my group might have noticed in the past few days. But that's just because I just need the time to prepare and to go through some rituals. Because I love rituals, such as obviously making coffee. Making coffee is like, that's the most important. And I'm really sorry to say, but I really hate the coffee here, really. It's this dusty coffee, I don't like it. Every morning I wake up, I make coffee, I count the amount of grams, I put them on a little weighing scale, and then I cook my own water, and I pour it into a filter, and this whole ritual takes around 10 minutes before I actually can start drinking coffee, and then after that, like half an hour, I start making the coffee the moment I actually have to leave the house. So that already means a delay of half an hour every time. But speaking of rituals, I'll talk about myself as a swimming instructor as well. I teach swimming every Monday to basically immigrants. They come over from all around the world. They don't know how to swim. They're very scared. But since you're living in Holland and there's a lot of water, they sort of have to learn to swim. And I approach this swimming, for me this swimming is an escape from daily life because it's so completely different from what I actually do as a designer or as a human, let's say. And so when I give swimming class, I kind of try to ritualize the movements and teach my pupils how to work with the water instead of fight against it all the time. They all have the idea that they're going to sink and they're going to drown, and if they don't have air, they're going to die and everything. But actually, I just tell them, you have to learn to sink, and once you learn to sink, you'll know how to float. So the first things we do is we teach them how to like let go of all the air in the lungs, and then they slowly sink down onto the ground, and then they realize that they can actually sit down on the ground for more than a minute without the air in their lungs, because the air is already passing through their veins and everything. And these are the things that I find very fascinating when you kind of can convey this information in such a way that people discover a new way of approaching things. I'm a highly insecure person, actually. I'm vain. I mean, I like to try to look the part, but that's actually because of it, and I fake it a lot. I don't know exactly how to present myself very often, so I just fake myself. I present myself very differently from who I am indoors, let's say. And probably this whole story is going to be full of inconsistencies because of this. So it's very easy to discover that I'm very superficial in that sense. One of the techniques I use to fake it is just always mention opposites. Like when you're in a discussion, you just mention the opposing side. But on the other hand, I cannot take sides. For me, it's really difficult to take one position. I'm always kind of thinking like, which part should I, which position should I take? I'm always sort of mediating inside my head, and this causes me to slow down and not be able to react very quickly to what people are telling to me. So yeah, and this also has to do with this whole overwhelmingness. I am an opportunist. There's a reason why I ended up here. I'm kind of surprised that by sort of being able to connect some dots, that I end up being here with all you guys. It's fantastic to end up here, and I do it, of course, for myself in the sense that it challenges me to work with different people and to to sort of climb the ladder of insecurity. And in the end, I'm sort of appear here and there. I was at Planta, and I know the guys from Monic, and we are also in the. I end up in neighborhood meetings for the municipality of Rotterdam with like very mundane subjects about like where should we plant the little flowers and everything, and I don't really know what to say, but just I like joining these talks and seeing what perceiving like. Okay, I'm getting stuck here. I'm being there, but also I'm not being there, and that's funny actually that I'm also sometimes not there, because often I hear from friends like through friends I hear that they wonder where I am because I'm in so many places at the same time, and they kind of don't understand or don't know where. Why I'm not there, and I think it's really strange that people miss me. So it's yeah, whatever. I'll talk about friends for a moment. I'll give a small anecdote. I have really big difficulties in keeping friends. That's because I move around a lot. And I'm really bad at maintaining friendships. But at the same time, I do have friendships that I keep in my mind for a long time. I'm going to talk about a studio mate of mine. His name was Julian. We studied in Delft together. And this is a very weird, weird person. Actually, I thought he was kind of a, I didn't like him at all when I entered the studio. He was really pretentious, and he was wearing snakeskin shoes and like Miami Vice pantaloons and everything. And yeah, I really didn't like this guy. But at the same time, this guy fascinated me so much that I just stuck around with him all the time, and we hung out and we started doing imitations of other studio mates just for fun. And we slowly built a friendship, knowing that we both would probably not maintain that friendship after the studio, but it was really kind of an intense thing. We once went to a festival near his parents' house, and we ended up at his parents' house, and that was also like a really crazy experience. You enter their home. His mother collects a lot of junk, and the first thing I see is I open the door. I see a shopping cart like just right next to the door, and I see his whole family there. His dad is wearing kind of half-shaded sunglasses. They're watching television. He has his brother, two brothers. One brother looks up to him, is always trying to become the boxer in the family, because Julian also was a boxer, so they're always kind of in a fight. That's the middle brother, and then there's the younger brother. He was 10, wearing just white underwear, kind of fat, and sitting on his brother. It was like such a strange image, and you kind of enter these weird, these strange households, and yeah, it's always that's actually what I like about people, the fact that you, if you overcome the fact that you don't like them, or then you just get really interested into them, and then you arrive in their private space, and you see what's going on, and that's really interesting for me. Let's go down. The bronze flamingo is another story. I'd say it's sometimes things that don't have a purpose, that I think where there's no purpose, there's love, I guess. I was looking for a new house to stay. I had to move out of an old house, and I was looking for a new house, a new apartment. And well, the first thing I decided to buy was a bronze flamingo. I didn't have a couch, I didn't have a table, I didn't have anything. But the reason why it became a flamingo is because a good friend of mine, my girlfriend, she was in Milan, and she knows this really cute pond where there are flamingos, and she was telling me about it. And actually I was already fascinated by having bird statues, and she reminded me about this, so then I decided to buy this flamingo, and then it became a memory, and it sort of became the starting point for a new place to live. And work. I don't like to mention work in a sense that I don't like to work 9 to 5. I'm not a very disciplined person. I can work all the time, basically, but I don't have a scheduled working time, and when I, okay, stuck again, failure. No, it's not just work. Let me think about it. Look, sorry? I'm being lazy. No, that's not true. But I like laziness. Laziness is good. I think we approach work too much. We think that we have to work hard all the time, but that's not entirely true. It's also a question of saying no sometimes, and understanding your position within like a working atmosphere, within a team. The work I do I work at an office part-time, but I do it as a freelancer, and this gives me the opportunity to be there regularly, but also decide to say, like, I have other stuff to do, and I can also go to do the post office stuff, which I'm going to tell about later. And therefore, you sort of end up in a free. You have more freedom to define your time and everything. This is really whatever. I've never sent portfolios. I don't see the need for sending portfolios. Actually, it never. For me, it's a waste of time, and I think just by going from one place to the other, you'll find that it's not necessary to send out portfolios around. And yeah, well, I'm almost closing here. It's almost done. This is awful, actually, but. I don't consider myself an extremely talented person, but I'm really humbled by being here with so many talented speakers. I mean, the speeches yesterday were absolutely mind-boggling. I'm really looking forward to the discussion we're going to have later. So I think basically we should just really listen. I mean, I think we should understand that there's so much. We had such great speakers yesterday that we really have to open our eyes, open our ears, and make sure that we soak in everything we can even things that we don't understand. We have to really soak them up. We have to really pay attention and try to join the discussion. Yesterday we didn't end with a discussion, which was really a pity, and I hope that we can do that today, because I think from the discussion you learn much more than from a presentation like this, actually. Post office, for me, that's actually the platform I started. I do it with 2 friends, and actually the whole reason for starting post office is because we want to just observe, and we want to be able to attract people into the space from different sides, and that's actually the reason why we ended up being able to be here with Mitesh, Marco. They all came over in post office, which is basically a moldy, old, cold space. But somehow, by the activities we do, it's not really about that space, it's just about the fact that it connects people together, and it makes them want to collaborate much more, and I think that's much more important. It's basically not really about the spaces, it's more about the connections and trying to approach the other human, actually. I want to close with this. I think this will be done. Thanks a lot.